getting right to the questions. How different is the experience of being associated with the DH Festival?
The DH Festival. Oh, it's been. I had taken sort of a break from theatre for almost a decade now, and so I used to, over the decade, though I was doing films, I kept an eye on what was happening, what my friends were doing. So I would, see this festival coming up. So it was always somewhere sort of a pinch that hey, I've never been part of the festival. So once I got a call that I could be part of this festival, it was quite exciting. Though I have some movies lined up immediately, so I said somehow I'm going to make it happen. And so it's been great that we've revived a play now, which was done 10 years ago. And I hadn't done any shows, and thanks to the festival, we found another actor, we found an entire new team, which is now interested in doing the play again. And because the festival has a date set, it made me work backwards, and the production has actually taken shape. I think on my own I would have never brought it back again.
Okay. So can you tell us a bit about The Women in Me, which is a part of the Deccan Herald Theatre Festival?
It's been a very strange experience. The Woman in Me was written when I was 25, so now I'm 35. And now when I read the play, and I keep wondering what was wrong with me back then to have written this play, because it's a very disturbing play. It questions what a man does in his head and also outside. And it is questioned by the woman component of him.
Okay.
So it is, the man is always thinking that he's justified in what he thinks, he's justified in what he does. But as soon as the opposite side of himself, which is like, there's a saying, right, all men have a part of woman in them and all women have a part of men in them. So this woman sort of comes out and starts asking him questions, and that changes what he thinks about himself.
Okay.
So I remember when we were rehearsing this 10 years ago, when we opened, so 3 weeks into the rehearsal, we were as normal ourselves, were very disturbed, because it was a cast and crew full of men doing a play about women, so that was an interesting process. And because the play questions and brings out so much, so we are all men, right, on a common this thing, and it made us question about what we think and what we do. So now after 10 years I'm working with Salman Sharif, who's a much more senior person than the way I had written, and his collaboration on this play actually made more sense to the play, and his experience is 50 plus. So his experience has also brought in so much more. So as a playwright and director, there's been a great experience for me with Woman in Me for that reason. And especially at the times right now when the way social media has transformed how conversations about women happens. So sometimes you feel, there's a justification for anything and everything. So suddenly it's what the woman is wearing, what the woman has studied, what the woman has learned, everything is questioned for what's happened to her. And so this play somewhere kind of brings out more questions. So I thought this was the right time to bring it back and to, pass on these questions to the audience.
Okay. So the experience that you had 10 years before when you staged the same play, and then bringing it back with the Deccan Herald Theatre Festival, how different was the experience for you?
Oh, it's been quite a journey, because 10 years ago I was a 24-year-old boy. Now I'm married, I have a daughter. So it has changed how I see the world, how I experience things. So the text, however, has been equally powerful. What is strange and also a tragedy is that whatever I was trying to address 10 years ago is what you're still addressing now, through the play. Nothing is changed. In fact, it's become worse, is what I felt. And so for me as a personally as an artist, as a director, now I'm actually able to bring out so much more from the play because of our own life experiences.
Okay. How do you feel about the festival connecting to the youth?
No, it's right now when the whole generation is I mean, 10 years ago, a theatre festival would feel like, hey, it's what regularly happens. But today, I feel theatre festival is so much more needed because the youth is actually, I'm still youth. I still do the much younger generation. I think they are so disconnected from how we were at least a decade ago. So I think a theatre festival like this gives them that seriousness. That film festival, all these things, they bring in some sort of seriousness to the art form. And I feel that's what the Deccan Theatre Festival does.
So you've had a background of theatre and you know how theatre festivals have functioned here. How unique do you think is the format of the Deccan Herald Theatre Festival?
Usually what I've seen is the festival happening at one venue. So this is spread out across.
Yes.
So when it happens at one venue, it generally catering to the crowd around that space. So I guess this festival is offering everyone in Bangalore, north, south, east, everyone to somewhere, catch up on the festival. So that's it.
Coming to you, theatre versus movies. How different is directing for each?
Theatre has always been difficult. The movies, that is why movies I still feel a lot confident. With theatre, because it's such it's kind of an art form which I value and respect so much. So I actually fear my own capabilities when it comes to theatre. So I do that with fear. So when 10 years later, I just started performing again. Though I've done movies and it's kind of feels like easy, but theatre I'm still very cautious of how I go on stage. It's though in movies the investments is huge, the number of people who see it is 100 times more than what a show is seen.
Yes.
But still you value this 200 people a lot more than 2 lakh people out there. So I think that's what theatre kind of puts in your head while you train. Movies we are doing all that, but at somewhere the personal connection. When you're on stage performing, you're connected to 200 people in real life. But in movies, today somebody will be watching my movie and I don't even know how he's reacting to it. So movies has always been a medium of disconnect after you make it. But theatre, with every show, you're reconnecting.
Okay. So according to you, which would be a more powerful media? Is it theatre or movies? And why?
Both in their own genres and the kind of subjects. Like This Woman in Me, for 10 years we've been trying to see if we can adapt it to a film. The idea, the concept. But there are many of my assistants who tried to rewrite it as a script for a film. And nothing worked, something that I had the same sort of an energy to make it as a film. I felt it is best said as a theatre, as a play, rather than as a film it would fall flat, is what I believe. Somebody probably will do someday. But theatre will bring in that sort of reaction from the audience for this play. So.
Okay. So coming to movies, if you were to try another genre in filmmaking, what would it be?
I've been experimenting various ones. There's not that one genre that I've been sticking to. It looks like it is, but it's not been that. So I've been trying to do more drama. I've been associated with more thrillers so far. So, but now the long break that I'm taking is because I want to do more drama, family dramas, which looks like plays, but on film it's a lot more difficult. Thrillers I feel is a lot easier to do because people are impatient. Your characters are impatient, they connect. But when people are impatient, but when you make your characters patient and they're going through some sort of drama within families, that's a very difficult thing to hold on screen today. And that's the challenge I'm trying to take up.
Which was going to be my next question. So how has it been to, actually do thriller movies? What are the different experiences you've had with each thriller movie?
So thriller is more like a magic show. So you hide something, the people are guessing how that's happening, and at the end you reveal and they get that big high. So it has a lot of technique, but after you've done that 2-3 times, then you, as a filmmaker, you start feeling like I'm playing with the same technique.
Okay.
So drama has been something which is challenging because it's not easy. So that's why I'm choosing to get into drama more.
So which would be the toughest genre to work with, theatre or movies?
Like I said, based on the script. Like some of the films that I've done, they can never be made as a play. They had to be films. But like some of the scripts which I've written for stage, I don't think I'll be able to adapt them for film. So I think I've chosen the medium based on the kind of content I want to share and in the way I want to share it.
Okay. But still, according to your own experience, what genre do you think has been most challenging?
genre or platform?
Yeah, I mean genre, like, in terms of any medium, genre that has been more exciting or more challenging.
See, in movies, it's all about sticking to the theme that you want to talk about and yet reach out to as many people, because the number of people who see the film today is based on the popular genre.
Yes.
So what we've done with my films is I have my themes, strong themes, but I kind of package it with a very popular genre sort of narrative.
Yes.
So that way they are pulled into watching the film, but eventually they take back the theme. So I think in movies that was a huge challenge. In theatre you don't really need to do that. You can stick to your artistic way of making a play, and the audience come into the theatre with that expectation that there will be something artistic and we are going to put our brains and then pull out. But in movies it's such an expensive medium that you need to balance this out.
Yeah, true. Having been a part of theatre and cinema for a while, which medium do you think stays with the audience most?
Oh, there is again how powerful the output is. There has been a play which I've seen like way back in 1998 or something, whose images I just still have in my mind, and there are movies that you would see last week and you forget. So it's based on what did that movie or the play do to you. So I don't think it's anything to do with the medium. It is how powerful the content is.
Okay, so having been in both mediums, theatre and movies, you've been more into movies for a while now. Has the Deccan Herald Theatre Festival brought memories of your theatre life back and brought you to that medium right now?
Oh yes, it is in like the whole fact that there are no retakes. For a movie, you know that you can do things on set, you can correct.
Yes.
But here I've been rehearsing for like last 40 days and every day we've decided that all the movie work happens post lunch, and before that it's only theatre work. And I like the fact that no matter how much movie and how much name, fame, everything that we've got, theatre pulls you back and puts you back to ground realities. So yeah, the festival, and also because now I'm also sharing the platform with theatre veterans who have been doing theatre for the last 10 years.
Yes.
So I do have to kind of match up. So it's been a challenging, but I'm glad I got the challenge.
Thank you so much, Pawan. Thank you so much for your time.